Hey everybody, Cliff Ravenscraft here. It is Friday, April 1st, 2016, and just after 10 o'clock I'm getting ready to start my day here at the office. And while I'm getting ready to jump in to answer questions from my podcasting A to Z students, I am having an after breakfast snack today. Earlier last week I helped my friend Dan Miller with some audio issues that he was having, and he sent me a little thank you gift, and I love dark chocolate. Dan, I know that you randomly check out the vlog, so if you catch this one, I just want to say these little blocks here, 26 calories each, perfection. Thank you. It is now 11:46, and I have answered every question from all of my A to Z students. I currently only have 3 emails in my inbox that I haven't yet responded to, but I'm going to make them wait until after lunch. It is now 4:14 in the afternoon. I had my week 3 group coaching call with my students. It was incredibly awesome. Well, my friends, it is now 5:35 p.m. and I'm out with Matthew having dinner after getting our haircut. But Matthew has zero desire to be in my Snapchat story or my vlog. Oh well. It is now 7:30 in the evening and it's quiet. Stephanie and the girls went down to Bowling Green for McKenna's Odyssey of the Mind state competition. They won't be home until late, very late tomorrow night. Matthew is up in his room and I think he's probably playing video games. And as for me, I've just wrapped up everything I plan on doing as it relates to work this week. Tomorrow I'm planning to spend all day with Matthew. He has his robotics regional competition tomorrow. It's Friday night, and those of you who know that I have made a commitment to working out 6 days a week every week for the rest of my life, well, today's my night off. And I think I'm going to spend it reading the biography of Alexander Hamilton. Guys, you just have no idea. I have goosebumps on my arms. I don't know if you can see them. I just had, 10, 15, 20 minute, I have no clue how long it was. But I just had a private Snapchat message with my friend Ray Edwards. Like video, that the video conferencing feature that you can have in the private Snapchat area of Snapchat. Ray and I just, man, the guy inspires and encourages me, and I was able to share some things with him that were on my heart. Some things that, if I say publicly out loud, sometimes it just makes me feel a little awkward. Like, who am I to think those things? But what I love about Ray and a couple other people in my life is that they see things in me that I'm only just beginning to see in myself. And now that I'm starting to get a sense of some of those things and what I might be called to do moving forward, they're much bigger than I ever dreamed of dreaming before. And it's weird to have friends like Ray and some others that actually encourage me to continue to think the way that I'm thinking. Watch out, world. I may make a huge mess of everything, but I'm gonna do something. Well, my friends, it is now 11:30 in the evening, and I just finished something awesome. Those of you who have been following my vlog this past week have probably heard me talk about the musical Hamilton. I've heard about this Broadway sensation called Hamilton for months. It seems like every podcast that I listen to, somebody's referring to Hamilton. And even though it's been a couple weeks since I've seen any late night television, when I was watching late night television several months ago, Jimmy Fallon, James Corden, all those guys, it was Hamilton this, Hamilton that. Can't get tickets to Hamilton. And before 1 week ago, the only thing I knew about Hamilton was that it was a Broadway musical that supposedly told the life story of Alexander Hamilton to hip-hop music. And then last weekend, one of the podcasts that I listened to, at the end of it, a guy says that he and a couple friends, they're planning to do a series of podcast episodes where each episode would be devoted to one song from the soundtrack. And they plan to do one episode for each song, and that's 46 songs. And finally, I'm like, okay, what is this Hamilton? So after I finished listening to that episode, I looked up Hamilton. That was 1 week ago. And I can tell you without any exaggeration, over the past week, I've listened to the soundtrack of Hamilton for no less than 30 hours total. From the time I wake up in the morning, having my breakfast, I'm listening to Hamilton. While I'm answering podcasting A to Z questions throughout my entire day, I'm listening to Hamilton. One day this week, I went on a 2-hour bike ride. I listened to Hamilton the whole time. And you guys have been watching my vlog. I've gone to Chipotle for lunch quite a few times this week. Guess what I listened to on the way to Chipotle and back home? Hamilton. Every day, 6 days a week, I work out. And each day this week, I've done a minimum of 45 minutes of cardio. I listen to Hamilton every single time. And every single night I've gone to bed in the past week, I've gone to bed listening to Hamilton. Everybody that knows me knows that I have a bit of an obsessive-compulsive personality, and I'm obsessed with Hamilton. The interesting thing is that the first few times I listen to it, I'm listening to all the words and I'm catching most of them, but because I've never seen the play, I don't know who's actually saying what words. So the other night, I think it was probably 2 nights ago, I looked up the lyrics and found that you can actually download PDFs of the booklet that comes with the soundtrack if you get the CD. And that booklet, or those PDFs, have the lyrics for every word of every song. And of course, it indicates the names of the characters that are actually saying each of those words. And 2 nights ago, when I found these PDFs, I listened to the entire Act 1, 23 songs, reading the lyrics. And I thought I liked this soundtrack before. Wow. Before having the breakdown of who sang what, I kind of picked up most of Hamilton's lines, Angelica, Eliza, and maybe even Washington. But as I listened to it before the lyrics, I attributed way too many things to Aaron Burr, and it didn't make sense. But then when I read it and figured out who was saying what, all of a sudden I discovered John Laurens and Hercules Mulligan. And I figured out which lines were James Madison and Thomas Jefferson. Oh, and I did know who Lafayette was. I mean, his voice is totally distinguishable. The interesting thing is that as I was discovering who were these people saying all these lines, as I was introduced to a new character, I would look them up on Wikipedia. And then, while I had that backstory, and then I read the lines that they were singing, it all made sense. And it only caused my appreciation for Hamilton the musical to grow that much more. And the other night, when I finished listening to Act 1, I finished around 1:30 in the morning. Now, earlier today, I purchased the biography of Alexander Hamilton written by Ron Chernow. This is the biography that Lin-Manuel Miranda had read and that had inspired him to write this musical. I started to read that biography earlier today and read a little bit of it tonight. But then I felt led to go ahead and pull up the PDF for the lyrics of Act 2. And I listened to Act 2 while reading the lyrics, and mind blown. And guys, I had tears streaming down my face as I read the lyrics and listened to It's Quiet Uptown. This musical has inspired me in so many ways, on so many levels. I'm not going to go much longer because this is already really long, but just to say this, my life has been enriched this week as a result of becoming obsessed with Hamilton. And I am simply inspired by the life that Alexander Hamilton lived, his story, his perseverance, his place in history, his impact on the world, his dealing with his own humanity. Yeah, I'm drawing so much inspiration from it. This obsession's not over. And I think there's a whole lot more inspiration to come. But with that, I'm going to wrap up this vlog for the day, and I'm going to tell you, I encourage you to take everything you're doing in life to the next level. And yeah, you should check out Hamilton.